All right, here we go. The pair in the water box getting the signal to fire him back up as Chris Brenton will back into the water box, get ready for burnout in his turbocharged Nova. And Dan Rodrigue, the big block Chevy with, again, a whole lot of nitrous, helping propel that machine down the racetrack. Chris Brenton, 400 cubic inches of LS power plant, again with the turbo slapped on it for good measure for Brenton, as Dan Rodrigue, heavy hitter in this category, and ran at the first Doorwarz, and I believe what was then the open comp category before making the switch around 2017, 2018, to move up into Outlaw 275 in a division that has exploded in popularity in recent years, especially here on the West Coast. Car count's continuing to grow, and we're seeing it by all the 4-second runs. I think last year, if you ran a 480-something, you'd be right up the qualifying lineup, and now it's going to take a 460 or better, 468 or better, to get you into the top 5 for qualifying here at Doorwarz on day number 1. 19 Outlaw 275 cars currently qualified as we head into their eliminations tomorrow. Pre-stage for Brenton. Rodrigue is in, waiting on the Nova to build up the boost and bump it in. Good to go. Whoa, wheels up both sides of the racetrack, and look at Dan Rodrigue into the 450s. The second car into the 450s, 458 with a 9. Rodrigue goes to the number 2 spot, 156.65 miles an hour. Chris Brenton will stay in the number 11 spot with a 682 with a 5.
Earlier in the afternoon when we were away in the sweltering heat that the times would really start to drop once this track cooled, once the sun went down, and boy, drop they have. These are some of the faster passes you're going to be seeing out of the Outlaw 275 guys, quite possibly throughout all of Doorwarz. And I believe this will be one of the latest points where the entire field will be looking to get a qualifying hit in. As you can already tell, some few already very volatile runs, drivers with wheels up past the 60-foot. Makes it very, very exciting to watch, though, and a lot of people tend to start fading away once that sun goes down, but I say the nighttime is the right time.
Boy, is it ever, especially for these Outlaw 275 guys. Of course, any opportunity they can have to add a little extra stick with those small back tires, trying to get all that power down, is welcome. Rick McLeod, tower side out of Vernon in his Dodge Dart, up against Tyler Stamler from Rocky View, Alberta, the on-point performance S10. Rick McLeod, strong run from a Dart. See if he can improve on his 470. Yes, he will by 2/10 of a second, rather 200ths of a second. 4.680, 150.15 miles an hour for Rick McLeod, the only Dart in the field in a sea of GM products and Ford Fox bodies. Tyler Stamler, 523 with a 0 at 137 miles an hour for the S10, keeping him in the number 13 slot. Rick McLeod moving inside of the top 5 with that 468 with a 0, knocking back Neil Richards to the number 6 position with his 468 with a 4. Jordan Brandon out of Lethbridge in the 2000 Camaro in the TCS lane, up against Trevor Mulder from Alberta, the 1990 Ford Mustang for Motion Performance. Horsepower Solutions and Selkirk Auto Body turbocharger versus nitrous here in this round number 3 of qualifying. Jordan Brandon, his best run a 484 with a 1 at 156 miles an hour, and Brandon's car capable of more than that, but having to pedal it a few times. Of course, Trevor Mulder over there, the far side of the racetrack, ran a 1070 with a 6 last time out. That was way off song, going up into tire smoke right in the hit. 473 with a 2 from round number 1, Mulder's best run. in the Mustang and Lordco Auto Parts lane. Mulder pre-staged, waiting on Brandon to bring it in. Again, trying to beat that 484 with a 1, move up from the number 12 slot.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was gonna go straight into the wall after I saw that. I have never in my life seen radio cars like these get that far up with their wheels in the air. Once again proving that if you ever want to see some thrilling Outlaw 275 runs, this is definitely that time. If you're not in the stands or by the fence, I suggest you make your way down there lickety-split, because these guys, they just have no restraint on what they're willing to put their cars to the test to.
Well, we were saying Jordan Brandon was pedaling his way to 480s and then goes straight into the 440 zone to go to the number 1 spot. Now, Larry Yampolsky from Langley has 81 Malibu already staged. Mandy Brooks from Chilliwack in the Nova. Brooks, strong launch from the Nova. Yampolsky looking to run her down. Top end of the racetrack. 570 for Yampolsky, unable to improve on his 551 with a 5. Looks like a little bit of wheel spin off the line for Yampolsky. And his Impala will stay in the number 14 spot, rather the Malibu. Mandy Brooks in the Nova in the number 15 slot. All right, next up, Bob Cook from Lloydminster, Alberta, in his 1993 Ford F-150, the LS-powered machine. And Jason Gagnon, the Underglow, in effect, from the Nova, the 1970 Nova out of Kelowna, for Angle Plug Racing, Gen 3 Speed, and JS Power Sports. So Bob Cook coming in at the number 16 slot with a 595 with a 1 at 126 miles an hour. Jason Gagnon was the number 1 qualifier, but has now been knocked back to the number 4 slot, a 462 with a 4, his best run from round number 1. Jason Gagnon keeping the front tires firmly planted to the racetrack into the 450s, 458 with a 3, 167 miles an hour. As you get a look at that Lucas Oil instant replay. Bob Cook still staying in the number 16 slot, 595 with a 1, his best run in the Ford F-150.
Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. 604 Street Legit. We're calling you to lanes 1 and 2 for your final qualifying hit on the evening. 604 Street Legit. Come on down to lanes 1 and 2 for your final qualifying hit of the evening.
So next, we will have the man who was in the number 1 spot heading into round number 2, got knocked back down to the number 5 slot. 464 with a 3, the best run for Adam Berard in the TCS lane for the White Trash Racing 1984 Chevy Camaro. Justin Collin from Calgary, Alberta, the on-point performance Gen 3 Speed 83 Mustang with JR Lazick helping to tune the wrenches on that nitrous-assisted Mustang. The turbocharged Camaro in the TCS lane has been laying down solid laps, made it to the finals of the season opening race for Outlaw 275 here at Mission Raceway Park. So, Adam Berard waiting on Justin Collin to purge the nitrous system on his machine. Justin, again, has come to Doorwarz 2 previous times, once in 2021, just last season. But a new combo for Justin this year. Had a bit of a big nitrous backfire in round number 2, hoping to improve here in round number 3. Oh, and look at the nitrous flames for Justin Collin. Top end, 472 with an 8, improving on his 474 with a 7, 155 miles an hour for Justin Collin out of Calgary. Adam Berard going nowhere in a hurry, unfortunately, on run number 3, 464 with a 3, still keeping him in the number 5 slot. Justin Collin inside the top 10 to the number 8 position with a 472 with an 8.
Once again, attention in the pits, attention in the pits. Canada West Doorslammers, we're calling you to the staging lanes for your final round. Winter Harbor Marina and RV Canada West Doorslammers, we need the finalists to the staging lanes for your final round of elimination tonight.
Coming up next in MDA Fabrication Outlaw 275, Lordco Auto Parts Lane, J.R. Lazick from Rutland in the 63 Nova he calls Romeo. Special thanks going out to Rob Charlton Racing, BCJ Properties, Lazick Automotive, Bel Air Power and Production, as well as Ken's Crane Service, Western Gas Co., all on Jordan Lazick, or JR for short, out of Rutland again in that 63 Nova. Sanga in the TCS lane, the 88 Fox-bodied Mustang for Bubble Racing and JMS Racing. Sanga in the number 17 qualifier at the moment, 16.301, 124 miles an hour, his best run. J.R. Lazick uncharacteristically off the pace, 9.95 in round number 2, looking to improve big time on that in the Nova in round 3 of qualifying. Strong launch from JR, and to the finish line, you've got yourself a new number 1 qualifier, 441 with a 5. 161 miles an hour. And again, J.R. Lazick going to the top in the Nova. Up next, another guy who can step up and make a big pass, Neil Richards. In the Cream Dream, the Mercury Zephyr, currently with the top speed in the Outlaw 275 division, 170 miles an hour to the top end. Of course, 8th mile for MDA Fabrication Outlaw 275 action. John Cuglietta from Edmonton in the Lordco Auto Parts lane, the Balboa 2004 Ford Mustang. Twin turbos a pair, 4 turbos at the starting line right now between the 2 cars. Neil Richards getting ready to bring that machine into the Beans. Of course, Cream Dream, a former Doorwarz winning car, and Neil Richards, a former Doorwarz winning driver. For the folks at Horsepower Solutions, and John Cuglietta, no stranger to competing in Doorwarz, in the Lordco Auto Parts lane. Both drivers into the pre-stage beams, building up the boost and bumping it in. Here we go, and Neil Richards right up into tire smoke. John Cuglietta, though, is on a pass, 461 with a 1, 159 miles an hour. So Neil Richards unable to improve. He'll stay in the number 8 spot with a 468 with a 4, his best run in the Cream Dream. John Cuglietta goes up to the number 6 slot with that 461 with a 1, 159 miles an hour for the Balboa Mustang. And up next, Jay Severston from Mission, the Radial Flyer 1970 Nova. Jay, of course, a regular in Pro Modified. He used to have a 1950s Chevy pickup truck before moving to his 1957 Chevy Bel Air Pro Mod that is not in competition this weekend. Jay electing to run the small tire member of the JS Power Sports team, the Radial Flyer Nova, of course, Jordy Lazick, piloting this machine to a Doorwarz win back in 2018, and Jay Severson yet to make a representative run in the Radial Flyer, currently qualified the number 19 spot. Again, with an off-pace 674 with a 0 is his best run, having to shut it off early in round number 2 of qualifying, as well as 797.3 in that second run, getting ready to go down Farmer Lane in the Lordco Auto Parts lane. The final car in Outlaw 275 qualifying, building up the boost. We'll see what Jay Severson can do for the number 19 slot. Getting her off the line. This run looks good. Ooh, and a little bit of flame, and that was not out of the exhaust. That was from out underneath the hood. Early shut off and smoke coming out from underneath of Jay Severson's machine, but a 473 will move him up from the number 19 slot into the number 12 spot. 136 miles an hour, so Severson getting out of it early. Smoke coming out from underneath of the radial flyers, so Severson could have gone even quicker, but looks like might have wounding something on that run. So J.R. Lazick quickest in Outlaw 10.5 qualifying here after round number 3, a 4:41 with a 5 at 161.78 miles an hour. Jordan Brandon up to the number 2 slot in his Camaro with a 4:45 with an 8, a 4:52 with a 2, putting Kurt Thompson the number 3 slot. Jason Gagnon moving up into the number 4 position with a 4:58 with a 3. Only 6 thousandths of a second behind him. Dan Rodriguez will round out your top 5 in Outlaw 275 qualifying with a 4:58 with a 9 at 156 miles an hour. So a quick look at the top end before we carry on here. Kevin Ness in the Mustang, again running some test hits for his no-time race coming up. He's going to be hitting a few of those races down in the U.S., and of course you cannot be looking at a time slip if you run in no time. So Kevin getting the scoreboards unplugged, and the timing and scoring graphics will be removed from the Lordco Auto Parts live stream, as well as we'll just do a quick check of the top end after Jay Severson having a little bit of engine detonation in the radial flyer. But as soon as we make sure that the top end is cleared and ready to go, then we will send Kevin Ness on for his no-time test hit. All right, Kevin Ness in the 1989 Ford Mustang, again 706 cubic inches, nitrous-assisted big block Chevy for Kevin. Solid burnout from Kevin Ness, again the driver out of Abbotsford. No time will be coming up on the scoreboard. So again, Kevin Ness, who's been wrenching on this thing in the off-season after taking this car out to Street Cars Super Nationals back in 2021, in November of 2021. Purging the nitrous system as Kevin will bring it into the beams, getting a great look at that up on the Lordco big screen as well as the Lordco live stream on YouTube. So Kevin Ness into the pre-stage beams, light the bottom bulb. Kevin, much stronger run that time. You can see the flames coming out from underneath the exhaust, clicks it off. And we will just say that's a solid pass. We cannot say the ET or, well, Kevin wouldn't like that. Lucas Oil Products instant replay. You can see straight down Broadway. No problems for Kevin Ness as the wind light coming on in the Lordco Auto Parts lane. And we will roll on into Limited Streets, making their third and final qualifying run of the evening. Chris McGraw in Flipper, his 1990 Mustang. We'll pause for burnouts. Up against Vanessa Richards from Kelowna in her 1989 Ford Mustang. Fox Body's the name of the game in Limited Street. Gen 3 Speed, Precision Concepts, Titanium Autogroup, as well as Kelowna GM and Lordco Auto Parts. The sponsors for Vanessa Richards, the winner of the first Limited Street race of the 2022 season, also a former Limited Street category champion, as Chris McGraw will get ready to bring her into the pre-stage beams. A 5:57 with an 126 miles an hour, putting Chris currently in the number 2 position. Vanessa Richards in the number 8 spot. Richards with an off-song 12.887. As here we go, first pair, Limited Street, Richards on a pass. Nitrous flames coming out of the headers for, or rather a 541, 129 miles an hour for Vanessa Richards, and that's going to put her straight to the top with the bullet. For a 541 with a 129 miles an hour, Justin Gibson second in the qualifying order and is up next. He is in the Lordco Auto Parts lane. Again, Chris McGraw getting knocked back to the number 3 slot with a 5:57 with an 8, his best time from run number 2. Jason Graw in the TCS lane, 1989 Mustang out of Abbotsford. Justin Gibson, as we mentioned, from Surrey in the Lordco lane. Gibson, strong early numbers as he heads through the top end. 5:47 with a 5, 125 miles an hour. A 6:53 with a 4, 103 miles an hour for Jason Graw. Graw in the number 7 slot. And Justin Gibson will stay in the number 2 position. 5:47 with a 5, his best run in the Mustang. Vanessa Richards at the top of the qualifying order with just a few more pairs left to run with that 5:41 with a 3. Rob Monroe, the 1969 Acadian out of Surrey for ST Performance and Gibson Racing Transmissions. And John out of Surrey in the Mustang. Nice launch for Rob Monroe in the TCS lane. Carrying the wheels again. 6:23 with a 4. That will improve on his 6:27. And Rob Monroe will be in the number 5 slot with that 6:23. John staying in the number 7 position with a 6:51 with a 0. Up next, your number 4 qualifier currently in the TCS lane from Maple Ridge, 2003 Cobra for Robert Fisher, sponsored by West Coast Detail and Brown Brothers Ford. Matt Black from Kelowna, the Security Paving 1994 Jeep Cherokee. As red lights currently flashing down there in the starting line, they're being told to shut it off at the moment. So it looks like a report of oil at the safety exit, which is why they're being told to shut her down for the moment. So the top end crew out taking a look at that. So again, just a report of having some oil at the safety exit as Robert Fisher from Maple Ridge up at the line again. Matt Black in the Cherokee will get backed out from just at the line, and we'll get ready to fire him back up. So top end crew having a look, as well as the starting line team heading up there. So it looks like it might be just a tiny bit of cleanup to do in the shutdown area. Again, a little bit of oil being reported just at the safety turnoff. So Matt Black and Robert Fisher will be backed up past the water box. They'll have another opportunity for a burnout to heat up their rear tires, as they will no doubt lose temperature by the time that the cleanup is completed. So again, a little bit of cleanup to do just down at the top end, some oil being laid down, and just as soon as that is all cleared up, we'll get underway with the, I believe, final pair in West Coast Outlaws Limited Street qualifying here for Doorwarz.
Taking care of your car is a responsibility. It ensures the long life of your car and its expensive components. That's why Lucas Oil takes automotive protection so seriously. Lucas heavy-duty oil stabilizer bonds with motor oil to shield engines from heat and wear. So take pride in caring for your car and pass that pride and knowledge to the next generation for years of smooth, reliable driving on the long road ahead. Trust Lucas Oil. It works.
Quality is never an accident. It is the result of high intention, knowledgeable effort, intelligent direction, and skillful execution. It represents the wiser choice of many alternatives. JBS Equipment. The field's the limit.
The West Coast Pro Modifieds would like to thank Artex Racing, supported by Total Dairy Solutions,
ChopMyRate.ca,
Daco Ventures, Mario High Performance Diesel,
24/7 Compression with Bel Air Power,
Waukesha Pierce Industries,
RCT Engineering,
Gen 3 Speed Trackside Tuning,
Canadian Performance Injection,
K2 Consulting,
Pro One Safety with TNT Motorsports,
Van Ross Services,
Super T Brand Builders,
and Signature Sandman in South Edmonton.
Join us next weekend, July 8th to 10th on HNLive.ca for full free coverage of the Rocky Mountain Nationals
At Rad Torque Raceway. Advertising opportunities still available. Go to westcoastpromodifieds.com for more details. West Coast Pro Modifieds. Just send it.
Attention the pits. Tom Turan back to the staging lanes, please. Tom Turan back to the staging lanes. Matt Black getting ready to make a pass in that Cherokee. Robert Fisher electing to head back to the pits in his Cobra. Fisher hoping to stay in that number 4 spot with a 6:06 with a 0. Matt Black, his run from earlier today, a 6:50 with an 8, his best run from round number 1 of competition. Round number 2 running a 6:57 with a 0 here in qualifying for Limited Street. The Cherokee out of Kelowna. First light lit, second bulb lit. Not quite as skyward, but he's going to carry it all the way through, not having to pedal it to bring it back down to terra firma. And a 6:31 with a 3, 108 miles an hour. Black's best run of the weekend so far, keeping him in number 6 slot with a 6:31 with a 3, 108.51 miles an hour. And Nolan, time now for 6:04 Street Legit. Rolling into the water box. Real Picarello in the TCS lane in the 2-lane blacktop-esque 55 Chevy. 427 cubic inches of Chevy power plant underneath the hood. And Nolan, a man you know well from Friday night street legal competition, and the guy behind 604 is Street Legit, Don Murray, in his Hemi-powered 1970 Barracuda.
That Barracuda's made some solid passes so far. We'll be seeing if he can improve any, as all the other classes have been. It looks like Picariello is going to back out just slightly before the 8th mile. It is not actually going to be an improvement on either car, so Don Murray was only a couple of hundredths shy, but you saw Picariello having to lift off the throttle. That costs him a few very valuable tenths, which will not see him being improving, so they'll stay numbers 10 and 9 on your qualifying sheets respectively. Going to move to Grant Gordon and Richard Love. The 4 Cycle Customs Incorporated Dodge Dart going up against the SS Motorsports S10 out of Vesoyas. Brad Thomas out of Squamish in the 2019 Ford Mustang, going to be putting himself on another run. Reaction time to forget about, but at the quarter mile, it'll be an 8.619 at 164 miles an hour. That is going to be a slight improvement, but it will not be enough to improve on his positioning. He'll stay number 6. Not as many 604 Street and Legit characters making the return for their final round of qualifying, but we will roll now into the Winter Harbor Marina and RV Canada West Doorslammers and their final, where you've got Derek Shirk, TCS side, Peter Lacantis, Lordco side. The Titanium 1955 Bel Air, sponsored by Bubba Speed Shop and JS Performance, going to be taking it to the Transporters Logistics 1963 Corvette. Luck has very much been on Peter Lacanis' side so far all race long. He has been absolutely on top of it. He's had people break out. He's had people go red. Derek Shirk, though, a driver that will not be making similar mistakes. 8:57, Lacanis will have a 1.45 roughly second head start over Derek Shirk. Shirk will have to be very, very patient here if he wants to try to chase down Lacanis and take the win for the first race in the Doorslammers doubleheader at Doorwarz 10. Lacanis is staged. Shirk is staged. 2 green lights. This one's for the quarter mile. Shirk chasing him down. Closing at the 8th. But he gets too close to the wall. Has to lift off. Lacanis breaks out. Are you kidding me? Peter Lacanis throws it away. He had it on a silver platter. but breaks out by just 0.02 of a second at the top end. Derek Shirk will take the race win in Canada West Doorslammers to kick off Doorwarz 10. Derek Shirk had him beat on the tree with a 007 light, but he got too close to the wall, had to lift off. That would have been it if Lacanis hadn't made that one very crucial mistake. That is going to sting come morning, and Peter Lacanis will no doubt be seen red tomorrow when they go back up for qualifying. And that will bring up Tom Turan. This will be our final pass on the night. Late call to the 604 Street Legit, but we'll be ending things off on a high with another motorcycle run from the Kraken for the Daytona Motorsports Suzuki. I am in shock on what we have just seen. Turan gets close to the wall. He's going to lift out and take it easy in the run to the quarter. That was our final pass on this Friday evening, and that will be a wrap on our Friday night proceedings then from Doorwarz 10. Want to once again thank all of the fans for taking the time to come on out and visiting us, especially those that have stuck around all the way to these final runs. Want to thank all of our track staff for standing outside in the hot heat all day long. But most importantly, want to thank all the racers for making some very long journeys out to come and race with us at Doorwarz 10. We will be back, though, for more Saturday racing all day and all night tomorrow. So join us for the main event tomorrow for Doorwarz 10 for the Titanium Strip at the Mission Raceway Park. We'll see you there.